Hello, everybody. Welcome to What Drives Reno. This is Phil MacDougall here in our studio at the National Automobile Museum. If you haven't been here before, shame on you. If you didn't know we had a podcast series or a production studio, shame on you as well, because we have so much to offer. But today, it is not about us. It is not about the National Automobile Museum, although we will kind of circle back to that a little bit. Today, we're going to be talking to Lisa Cook. And Lisa Cook, I've got the pleasure of knowing over the last 4 months from Swizzle. And you are an amazing person. So the more I get to talk to you, the more I learn about you, the more I'm impressed. So we're going to let everybody else know about all the cool things you do. So Lisa, welcome to the show. Welcome to What Drives Reno. For those who want to know what it's about, it's a little bit about cars, but it's really about those people in the community that help drive Reno, help drive growth, help drive getting greater exposure, just make it. That are making a difference in the community. And you're one of those people. So welcome to the show.
Thank you, Phil, for having me. I'm super happy to be here and proud to be such a part of such a great event. Love the museum, longtime fan. I was born and raised here. My dad was a huge, huge fan of the collection. So it's kind of neat to come full circle and come back. Thank you.
And we're changing with your help. So kind of a tradition, though. We always ask people to tell us what their first car was. That's the tie-in to the Automobile Museum. And then if there's a little story you want to share that you want to let people know about, but everyone remembers their first car typically.
I really remember my first car. My dad bought me a 1955 Oldsmobile Rocket 88, and it was pink and white. And we called it the Pinkmobile, and I could pile all of my friends into that crazy, crazy car. And it was just a beautiful car. And when I was growing up, he taught me how to care for the car. I don't have to care for a car these days, but it was nice knowledge to have, and I was grateful for him for that.
Yeah, people remember their first car, right? Because it was freedom typically. You go back, and most people, like you did when I first asked you, big smile comes to me.
Of course.
It just kind of brings us back in time.
Yeah.
We get a lot of that. When people come into the museum, they remember their first car, but depending on their age, they go back in time and they'll say, that was my father's car or my grandfather's car, or that's the car me and my mom, my wife had our first date in. There's just a lot of great memories in history. So thank you for sharing that with us.
My dad and I went to the first Hot Ice Nights together, and this year kind of brought that memory back of being up at UNR at that time.
Yeah, that's where it started.
Yeah. I was young at that time, very young. I'm not going to say my age, but I was very young at that time.
Good times, good times. People forget that brings in like 500,000 people a year, if not more, I believe. So it's great. It's great. Yeah. And we're going to talk about things like that and some of the other programs that I were just talking about before we came on live is like the Great Balloon Race that you're part of. But do me a favor, kind of for those people who don't know what Swizzle is, tell us a little bit about your background and then transition into Swizzle.
Sure. So Swizzle is a promotional product company, and I have been involved with what we call merch for about 30 years now, almost 30 years. For a long time, I worked for other companies that treated merch differently. A lot of times it was just slapping a logo or slapping a brand on something, and a lot of times that ended up in the landfill, and we didn't love that. So when I started Swizzle, I wanted to do this differently. I wanted to kind of do some merch with meaning. Merch where that logo went on something nice that people kept and that people used. It was always super important to me. So not just merch that goes at a big event like the balloon races or in your gift store, but when corporations give that merch away, I wanted to be able to make that merch a little bit high end and also a little bit better for the environment and a little bit more sustainable. And I'm proud to say as Swizzle, we've done that. We've been going for about 7 years. We're woman-owned, woman-run. I have a very strong team. I couldn't do any of this.
I met them, and they're amazing.
They're amazing. I just couldn't do any of this without them. I love my team so much. We've been lucky enough to be involved with events like the Great Reno Balloon Race. We handle their merch tent for them. It's a big project. We love it. We're going on year 7 now with them. We've been lucky to be involved with the air races. We still did a lot of merch for the air races, even though they moved to Roswell this year. We have some national clients. We've just been so fortunate. And I think that the best thing about Swizzle is that we all love what we do. I think it's super important. I'm excited to go to work every day. I'm excited when someone comes to me and says, look, I've got a budget and I want to buy my employees something, but I want it to be something they like and use. And I just
And
want
special.
Yeah, and
Something
special.
that they feel is
want to
unique.
keep. Yeah, and I just want to dive right in. We're proud to support the community. A lot of nonprofits in the community we take care of. We supply a lot of merch for big companies like Renown, little companies. We're just so fortunate, and I am third generation Reno. So Reno's very near and dear to my heart.
That's great.
Yeah, very near and dear. Fifth generation Nevada, but third generation Reno. So
Wow.
yeah, so everything Reno is super important to me, and giving back to the community is very important to me as well.
Well, you said Swizzle was around for about 7 years. What did you do before that?
Same thing. I did it for another company.
Oh, you did? Okay, so you've been
brother
doing this
and
for a while.
Yeah, my brother and I started a company years ago called Blue Moon Advertising. And Blue Moon, we started, it would have been about 91 that we started that. And we got about 5-6 years into it, and my brother was ready to retire. So he wanted to kind of retire and move on. The business got sold, and I went along with the new owners, and then went along with the new owners. And like I said, about 7 years ago, I was like, I want to do this a little different. There was nothing wrong with how they were doing it before. I just wanted to do it a little different. I wanted to focus on nonprofits. I wanted to focus on the community, and I wanted to focus on items that don't get thrown away. It was super important to me.
Well, just a little plug here, because I met you, I don't know, about a year ago. Pete was really bragging about you. We didn't really connect until just maybe 4 or 5 months ago. One of the biggest challenges we all have, and we're talking about merchandise, we're talking about products, we want to talk about quality. It's all typically the first thing that gets cut out of a budget, or it's something that, in my experience, people don't take the necessary time to think it out ahead of time.
Agreed.
And then nonprofits, especially in our world, we don't have the money that some big companies have.
Right.
So we really got to put our time into it, really got to do it right. When we started our dialogue with you, I got to just get 10 seconds of this. We sat down with the presentation, and I wasn't really ready. I was running from one thing to the other. We went into your meeting, and I've never, and I've been doing this a long time, had a presentation that was so well thought out, and you put time into it, you cared. We sat down there, you had refreshments, the clothing options were all there, the presentation was all there, and I go, they took the time to really make a difference here. And I would have thought you had 30 or 40 people, because your response time is so big. So I want to give you props for that. First impressions are everything. And it took me from this comfort level off the charts.
Thank you. That you're really kind. We are very careful who we take on. We're very careful of how we respond.
How do we slip in there then?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. How do we get through that?
Because of my fondness for the Automobile Museum in general and the history it brings, and nonprofits. But we are very careful who we bring on. We're very careful. It's super important to me to answer emails, to answer phone calls, to get back to people. And in turn, I want to work with people that do that. It's important to me that when you ask someone a question, that they respond and they answer. And I think that working relationship, you have to click with someone, and you don't click with everyone out there, right? And once you click with someone, you stick with them. And that's why our customers have been with us for so long.
And I think you can probably relate to this more than most people. Like, I'm real visual. I'm assuming you're real visual, obviously, in your world.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest challenges I have is when I've asked for things in the past, I go, well, here's a catalog. Go to page 57 and try and read it. I go, what does that mean? Not only that, but you took it a step further. You said, like, a couple of our clothing lines we're looking at for our driving force members. Not only did it, you put the logos on 5 or 6 different versions of it. So I didn't have to envision. I didn't have to worry. This is what I got. And as a matter of fact, just a couple, like Friday, we received one of them, and it was a carbon copy of what you presented. It wasn't bait and switch, like, oh, this is what you think you're getting. This is something a little different.
Yeah.
So you manage expectations really well.
We always have some funny sayings around the office, and one of them is samples save lives and save orders. We're all about samples. When you order that hoodie from us, remember I showed it to you, and I said, touch and feel it, try it on.
And that's exactly
take
what
it
sold
home.
it.
Yeah, take it home, wear it, keep it, because...
Now, who says that? But how important is that? Because you're not just getting a catalog and, take 5% off of this. No, you walked us through the whole process.
Yes. Yeah.
Makes a huge difference.
Yeah. And not only the touching and the feeling, but the mock-ups of it, and me saying, look, I don't love the logo on this, but I love it on this, or it doesn't work on this, or this piece of artwork. You know, we're so excited to get your gift store just filled full of merch that people are going to be clamoring for.
And you're taking us to another level. It makes a big, big difference. And most nonprofits, they don't have that luxury of let's experiment with this and fail. You really got a couple of times that products you need to introduce, they need to be a home runs.
Yeah.
So walk us through people who are watching that are large companies, small companies. Give them the basics. What do you perform or provide? Because it's so much more than merch to me.
Yes, yeah. So generally, we like to sit down and meet with someone like we did with you and your team. We like to sit down and talk to them and find out what they're looking for because everybody's needs are different, right? Some people want apparel, some people want promotional products, some people want what's on trend. Right now, friendship bracelets. We're selling branded friendship bracelets. The balloon races gave away 5,000-6,000.
I have one on my desk.
Yeah, they were so fun and people loved it. That's something that's on trend. Sometimes people want something like that that's on trend, that's just a choice. But other times they want, nope. You know, I have a customer right now that wants Ralph Lauren polos, and that's it. And so we've sourced Ralph Lauren polos for them. They want their employees and their staff dressed nicely. They want them all the same. Brand continuity is super important.
Right.
So we really tend to pay a lot of attention to things like colors and fonts, not just the quality of the apparel, but what goes on the apparel. And then we start talking about how are we going to decorate this item? There's all different ways to decorate. Used to be there was screen printing and there was embroidery. Now we can do things like DTF where it's a full color transfer. It doesn't feel like a transfer, feels like part of the material. There's
Much more cost effective.
Much more cost effective.
Looks great.
Looks fantastic.
Good.
We also have rubber patches, leather patches for hats, things like that used to be so expensive and where someone couldn't just order those because of the cost involved. Right. So we really try to sit down with someone, find out what they need. Then we come back and we say, okay, let us get a presentation together like we did for you. Right. Then we fill that rack up full of apparel. We come up with the designs. We bring them in. We show them everything. We listen. That's the most important thing. We listen.
A lot of people don't do that. And we've all sat there and said, I want it to look like this. And they go, great. In the past, and I come back and they gave me 5 or 6 things were nothing like I said, and they well we thought you might like this. I said, well, no, I wanted this.
Yeah, it's important to listen. I think in society, in general,
everything,
it's important to listen, right? Listen and communicate, but to listen because people know what they want. Sometimes it's our job just to kind of pull it out of their head and get it to be real. Whether it's for instance, your collateral. You knew exactly what you wanted with your collateral pieces that we've done for you. You knew what you wanted. You were very, very organized in getting me the material. I just needed to assemble it for you, basically, right? Like we did all your collateral.
Now, for those who know me, those 3 words don't typically come to mind. Organized, prepared. But
No,
in this
you've been
case, I've
great.
been trying to because, people got to put themselves in your shoes too. You probably would say this, but one of the biggest challenges is, I want this. I know I want this. Well, now I want this. Well, now can you switch it to this? And then, and we did that to you a number of times.
Yeah.
I'm so embarrassed, but
No, go
you
back,
did it
sir.
with a
Yeah.
smile because at the end result, it was
Right?
great.
That's all we want. At the end result, we want you happy and we want a reorder. Bottom line is the reorders are great. So when you're happy with something and you come back and say, we want more of that, that's a win for us.
So a couple of things. When people hear merch again, I wanted just to give those people listening a little bit more detail because that means to me, tell me where I'm wrong, trade show materials, polo shirts, hats, giveaways, collateral material, design work.
Yes, let me talk a little bit about merch. So in the olden days, they used to call it promotional products or ad specialties sometimes, and that was this encompassing thing of anything with your logo on it, whether it's a business card or a keychain or a mug. Then people started calling it swag. We don't love the word swag. If you look it up in the Urban Dictionary, sometimes you'll see it saying stuff we all get, swag, stolen without a gun, swag. We kind of thought
I've not heard those before.
Yeah, so we thought the word swag didn't have a real positive connotation, but what is it that when you go to a concert or you go to an event and you pay big money for, you go to that Rolling Stones concert and you're going to pay $100 for that hoodie and you're waiting in line for merch. Yeah. So we talk about merch, but it kind of brings that whole thing in. So merch can be anything with your name on it. And literally we can do anything just about anything with your name on it or with your logo on it. And sometimes maybe it's not even just your logo. Maybe it's just your tagline. That's what we're exploring with the gift shop, right? Is coming up with some artwork, some actual artwork. And we love to do that. You know, the logo might be somewhere, but it might also be a representation. I walked around the museum before I came up with any of your stuff, and I got a look and a feel and a vibe of the place. And then we set up all those designs.
But see, that's it's hard to put a price tag on that. And I guess I'm talking to those people watching today that have had those experiences where it's, here it is, cookie cutter. The fact that you came here, and I knew that based on your presentation because of the images and everything you put together, and you don't have, like I said, 30 people here, and you're selective on your customers that you bring in, but it's so powerful in a world that you're selling us, your brand.
Thank you. Yeah.
It makes a big difference. It's a partnership. Yeah. So what are some of the things that people who are watching today, is there anything new out there that you want to make sure that's...
There are new items, but there's also, a lot of times people come to me and say, what's new and exciting? And I will always tell them things like the friendship bracelets and things like that are new, exciting, but also some products that are tried and true. There's a reason why they're tried and true, right? There's a reason why everybody wants to keep a hoodie. There's a reason why there's certain hats. You know, like right now, trucker hats were big for a while. Right now, what they call the dad caps are kind of coming in. So trends come and go, but hats are always in. Yeah. There's certain little items like for trade shows that people will pick up and they'll keep, like lip balm, sunscreen. Those items people keep. They've been around as long as I've been in the business or even longer. But
and isn't that the purpose? Like,
yes.
You want to represent your brand very strong. You don't want to have the swag word to it, but you want something they're going to have in their hand and use it.
Yes.
Some of those items, sorry to interrupt you again, but I never would have agreed with that. 15 years ago, I was in the semiconductor industry, and we gave things away all the time. The ones that were in people's cars were the lip balms, chapsticks, and the things that were tried and true. Yes. But there's a reason that they're tried and true.
Yeah. Golf items are always big. We do a lot of golf tournaments, so golf balls, golf tees, those items, we still sell the heck out of, and they've been around forever. So yeah, there are trendy items. And then there's the items that come and go. For a minute there, we were selling the fidget spinners and the little fidget toys. I didn't love that, but people were asking for them. They kind of went away a little bit. They're making a little bit of a comeback. These things.
Yeah, this fades.
Comes around.
Fads.
Yeah, fads fade, and they come back around. Yeah, they do, right? So we do keep a close eye on the market and what's happening. Color is big in right now. Color comes and goes. Sometimes people tend towards more muted things. Color's coming back. The balloon races, all of that stuff kind of exploded with color this year. Same with the air races.
Sure.
But they're in Roswell, so they leaned into the alien, which was kind of fun.
I know. I was going to bring that up if I could squeeze it in here. You come up with some creative logos?
Yeah, some creative merch for them and the little aliens and the little UFOs. That was fun and different. I do love to draw those balloons, but it was fun drawing a few aliens here and there. So, it's nice to be able to design and be creative. When someone comes to me and says, I don't know what I want, I'll chat with them for a while. And usually they kind of do. Right. You just have to pull it out of them. And then once you pull it out of them, it's fun to come up with something new for their brand, sticking to their brand, like I did with with the gift store, right?
Right.
We really stuck true to your brand, but there's some fun designs.
You did, but you did it in a way that you kept to our guidelines, but you did it in a fun way.
Yeah.
Things that I know, we got to keep things fresh. When people talk about the museum, I say this all the time, but unfortunately people forget that we're in their backyard. We were voted number 5 best automobile museum in the whole country, number 1 by TripAdvisor, and that's a huge thing. But people in the area, oh yeah, I have been there since my prom or my 3rd grade field trip. I go, we have a new exhibit every 60 to 90 days. So Formula One is here, NASCAR is here, Fast and Furious, Harley Davidson exhibit. I want people to remember that, but I also want them to come in and see our new merchandise and new literature and new designs with your help. So for people who are watching, is there any advice you want to give them as we kind of wrap up our little
don't
talk?
Be afraid to reach out. Don't think you have to have all your ducks in a row before you reach out. A lot of times people are like, I need some merch, but I'm not ready. Well, that's what we're here for. Let us help you. Let us help you get ready. And yes, the National Automobile Museum is in your backyard. It's literally in our backyard. We're a block away. Yeah. We can walk here, so it's fabulous. But the resources here, the facility, the first time you took me through, I was so impressed and so amazed by the facility. And like I said, every time I come here, there's something new.
We're changing it all the time. Because truly, why would you come back to the museum if it was the same car,
Yes.
the same place, and never change? That's why we have to
And not
stay
just
fresh.
the displays, but I'm super excited about the next event coming up to see the Little Eagles tribute concert
Yes,
on Friday.
yeah.
Those events, they're so much fun to come to.
And I'm glad you brought that up. So just really quickly as we wrap up, when people say they haven't been to the museum, they forget or they haven't been here at all. It's 240 automobiles, 105,000 square feet. We're doing summer concerts. We're going to wrap it up to your point.
I'm so
yeah, we're doing
excited
Christmas
yes,
things.
yes.
But people know us for the Halloween event. We'll have outdoor concerts. We have one of the best things is doesn't matter if the weather's good or bad. We can move inside. You know, we did an event with 3,000 people, the patio and inside. Didn't even make a dent in our
Right.
location. So it has a lot to offer. Birthday parties, kids
birthday
zones,
parties, yeah.
private theater. So if you're looking for a place to be fun that doesn't have escalators, doesn't have smoking, doesn't have stairs, free parking, there's just a lot of cool things we want to
Yes.
remind people. But if you're looking at our store or our literature, I want you to know who is behind it. Lisa, thank you very much for coming on. If people have any questions, where should they go?
You can always contact us at our website is swizzlestory.com. So go there. There's an information page. You can reach out to me, Lisa at swizzlestory.com. Like I said, we're just a few blocks away from the museum. I just want to take a moment to thank you for having me here and also to thank you for all you do for the community.
Wow. Thank you very much. Everyone, if you haven't been to the museum, our address is www.automuseum.org, not .com.org. And if you're looking for something, products, merchandise, support, anything, one of the nicest people in town, and it takes a long time to find someone that puts a quality product that has the extra service, and you've gone above and beyond. So we're very grateful. The only thing I'm mad about is I didn't meet you sooner.
Thank you,
But
Phil.
until next time, we'll see you soon at What Drives Reno.